So is it possible to make a good song using only a free beat that you find on YouTube? I don't know. See, as a producer, I've never actually done this before because I usually just produce my own stuff, but I realize that some of you may look to YouTube and look to freebie options as a way to make your songs. So we're gonna try it today. We're gonna see how good it sounds. We're gonna see how good it comes out. So I'm gonna show you what I'm looking for in a beat if I had to choose one that was already pre-made, how I might write the song, and then how I would mix it and try to make it all sound good. So let's go. So the first thing that I'm trying to do here, I've got just a literally 100% empty Logic session, and I'm gonna take that input off because I'm just gonna put my stereo track here. I'm not using a template. I'm not doing anything that you can't do yourself as long as you have a DAW. So then the next thing we're gonna do is go to YouTube. I search for a beat. All right, so this one says, this instrumental is free to use for nonprofit. About acoustic guitar and piano, that's cool. All right, let's see what this sounds like. Okay. This has 600-something thousand views. Crazy. Obviously, they're doing great. Let's try something else, and maybe we'll see what we get. It's totally fine. Like this beat right here. Sounds cool. Let's skip ahead. Okay, I like the vibe of that one, so we're gonna try that one. So I went ahead and got the free download off of BeatStars. So we're gonna consider this from this point on a collaboration with this guy named Siri Hill. He's got some awesome stuff. Go check him out. So now it's got the tag in it, and that's okay. Drag this back. We're gonna be at 179. Sounds right. The first thing that I'm gonna do is mark my sections. Okay, now we have our entire beat laid out. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load up an EQ and just kind of put it on this track. So usually these have been run through a limiter and compressed, I mean squeezed to death, but this one, looking at the waveform, doesn't really look that way. I mean, if I blew it up like that, yeah, of course it does, but just looking at it like this, I mean, there's some pretty quiet moments here. You got the transients there, obviously, of like every single one of those snaps. So credit to this guy, because I think he didn't just completely smash the thing with a limiter or compressor. 808 is a little long for my taste. You can also go ahead and assume that your vocal bass, so I might reduce that by a couple dB and only put it in the middle. All right, so I'm just kind of listening to the beat, and the first thing that I wanted to do is just focus on the chorus, and I even had this loop set up that I think you can kind of see here. I just came up with a concept that's like, grace that meets me every day, mercy that never brings shame, victory in every single low. I know he is good, so let me tell you about my God. And that's our hook. Check, check. That meets me every day. I messed up the lyric. We gotta retrack that. Victory. That'll work. I'm such an idiot. The sound was coming out of the speakers when I was recording. We're gonna record it again. No. That better have worked. We've kind of cleaned things up. Now we're actually ready to mix. We got a main vocal. I've got a small part here where it overlapped. And so I just called that main vocal 2, then put those in a bus together, called it main vocal. Then I also recorded the same exact thing left for the choruses. 1, 2, had a down chorus, and then same exact thing right. 2 harmonies, and then I did a vocal chop in this section because I just noticed that there was nothing there. Again, that's up to you and what you feel comfortable doing. And then I just set everything in green is just instruments, and I included vocal chop in that because I'm going to treat it as an instrument, and sent it to, so I just came here and did bus, and then just chose a bus, which was bus number 2, and called it all music and put a limiter there. So I'm going to limit all that together, and then took all the vocals in purple and did the exact same thing, except then went to bus 3 and called that all vocals. You've taken main vocal and just put it into Melodyne, main vocal, put it into Melodyne. That's literally it. So the first thing that I will do is I'm just going to kind of work on the main vocal. One thing that you do have to be really careful on is to make sure that whatever key you're in is right. I put in an E flat major. It did say that, a big deal, but I started playing around with guitar because I was actually melodyning my vocals and realized like something is not right here. So when you play this, if you're trying to be an E flat, it doesn't fit. Instead, A flat. Just always double check that and make sure. So on both of these tracks individually, so that nothing weird happens, I'm just gonna put auto tune on just some gentle settings.
I was focused on the wrong things.
Same thing for get the right key.
I'm talking about nothing.
I've been talking about. So that.
I'm talking about nothing.
I've been talking about. That should be up there.
I'm talking about nothing.
You can just kind of work on it together. Again, I'm not really worried about the backgrounds yet or the vocal chop. And I'm just going to kind of try to go through this quickly to show you, again, just the things that I do. The first thing I do, and I just try to keep it really, really simple, is EQ. And I actually solo for this part. The best tip I've ever heard is from Christian Sagum, that he makes for Connor Price, Nick D, several other people. And he said, just make it sound like the vocal is in the room talking to you. So if you hear like woofiness that's coming from the mic, any kind of, really that's kind of the big one. Just cut that out. Make sure it just sounds like somebody, like I'm talking to the microphone right now. So we take high pass and we kind of roll it up.
I was focused on the wrong things. Like all about me, knew that I needed saving. Didn't wanna be free, then he came and he wrecked me. And all my want-tos, I can help but to share it.
And then we'll listen to the chorus.
Grace that meets me every day. Mercy that never brings shame. Victory in every single low I know.
And verse 2 to make sure too.
Oh my God, I'm talking about nothing. For far too long, let me tell you about.
See, to me, that sounds like somebody's just kind of sitting right beside you, maybe singing it or something like that. So to me, that's good. All right, so then next we're going to go to...
I was focused on the wrong things.
Next we'll go to compression. All right, so in virtual mix track, I just do... I have this preset loaded, which is, again, going after a lot of the same things that he does. I'm going to loop the chorus. So I leave this on all the time.
Grace that meets me every...
Okay, that's wrong. Me every day. Something messed up there.
That meets me. Grace that meets me every day.
Alright, compression.
Grace that meets me every day. Mercy that never brings shame. Victory in every single low I know.
Looking for like 2 to 3 there. Nothing crazy. Next, we're going to EQ.
Grace that meets me every day. Mercy that never brings shame. Victory in every single low I know that he is good, so let me tell you about my God. Grace that meets me every day. never brings shame. Victory in every single low. I know that He is good, so let me tell you about my God. Grace that me.
So every single one of those moves is not even a dB. So like I'm barely touching that EQ. Next, this compressor will hit harder.
Grace that meets me every day. Mercy that never brings shame. Victory in every single low. I know that He is good.
And then some saturation, and that's all we do in virtual mix track. Let's also check it with this verse 2 vocal here.
I'm talking about nothing for far too long. Let me tell you about someone.
That'll be a good spot to check this de-esser, so let's do this.
I'm talking about nothing for far too long. Let me tell you about someone. They say my soul.
Before the de-esser, that was brutal. Right here,
They say my soul.
that S is like, ah. And then now,
They say my soul.
I always put C4. My buddy Shane put me onto this on the pensado vocal setting and just leave it.
I'm talking about nothing for far too long. Let me tell you about someone. They say my soul. Grace that meets me every day. Mercy that never brings shame.
Just a little bit of fresh air there, and then now we're ready for sins.
Grace that meets me every day. Mercy that never.
Okay, so I know I was just kind of working on my sins because usually in my template, those are all set up. It's all the usual, the exact same things that I always put. Chorus, slap back delay, short room, reverb, long reverb, and then a ping pong delay. If you want more information about that, just leave me a comment or ask a question, but I've done that several times on the channel, so I'm not going to talk about that too much. One last one that I am going to set up and kind of show you how I'm doing that is parallel compression. So I'm going to just load up this LA2A, and then I'm going to put the peak reduction all the way up.
I was focused on the wrong things.
So if we listen to just the bus,
Like all about me knew that.
it's completely squashed. And then I like to also add a little bit of saturation to that,
I knew that I needed saving.
so we could really slam it.
Didn't wanna be free. Then He came and He wrecked me.
But I don't want to do all that.
And all my want tos, I can help but to share it.
All right, and then what I like to do is just take this all the way out and just blend the fader up until it's not, you shouldn't really notice it being too fuzzy, but it should make the vocal a little bit more present.
I was focused on the wrong things. Like all about me knew that I needed saving.
Too much.
Didn't wanna be free. Then He came and He wrecked me.
All right, I think right there is pretty good. The next step, and there's only a couple steps left, and I think you'd have something that sounds pretty good, is I copy the channel strip of the main vocal and I put it here for the background vocals. So I paste that. I'm going to kind of close this out and mute that for just a second and just focus on these backgrounds. So then I haven't done flex pitch or anything like that. Or Melodyne. I usually don't do that for backgrounds. So I'm going to do something as simple as just loading flex pitch on every single one of these. All right, and then I go in here and I'm just going to grab all of them, say A flat, and then just 100%. Darn it. No, it's A flat. I hope I didn't mess that up on this one. Okay. And I'm just going to copy that to every one of the background, because we would want those to sound pretty much the same. Oh, and you got to unmute it. That helps.
Grace that meets me every day.
So then from there, the changes that I like to make to backgrounds are to just take this high pass and I just roll it up even further, because we really don't need any lows in the sides where these like duplicates are and these harmonies are. There's no need for that. And then I also will do the de-esser really, really hard.
Grace that meets me every day.
Then we can just take the fader and kind of blend these in.
Grace that meets me every day. Mercy that never brings shame.
Too loud.
Victory in every single low. I know that He is good, so let me tell you about my God. I'm talking about.
The very last thing I want to focus on is this vocal chop. So I'm going to kind of close out these vocals. So for this vocal chop, I did do flex pitch, just tuned everything pretty hard, and then I put auto tune on it with some pretty drastic settings, and you get this.
Oh, oh, oh.
All right, so the first thing that I like to do is this is already pretty compressed, so I don't really see a need to do that. I do like to use OTT. And then I did just forget about, I'm also going to go ahead and pitch this one. So we are going to do Little Altar Boy. If you have Logic, you could just use like Vocal Transformer. And we're just going to drag the format down just a little bit. And drive it just a little bit. Put that before the OTT. I like the OTT after. All right, then we use, obviously, filter EQ. All right, and then my favorite thing to do lately has been actually with this Logic flanger. Alright, I like that a lot. And then we just add some delay, quarter note. And then reverb. Then let's give this last part just one final listen through, and then you can let me know if you feel like we were successful.
Grace that meets me every day. Mercy that never brings shame. Victory in every single low. I know that He is good, so let me tell you about my God.
I hope that you found that helpful. If you find yourself kind of going through this exact same process, I hope that maybe you can come back to this and follow some of these steps for how you can mix your vocals and your recordings with something that you're just kind of getting for free off of YouTube or BeatStars or wherever. So I hope you found that helpful. If you did, please consider giving a subscribe to the channel, especially if you want to see more videos like this, and see you next time.